step away from the actual power figure for a second, what we're actually looking at is like one of the most usable supercars on the road today.
Maybe one day, eh, chaps?
It pays to win the lottery. It's pretty mental. So obviously 750S, it's turned up to another level, 750 PS, which is like basically 750 horsepower, 4-litre twin turbo V8. And we're just gonna cruise this thing around Sydney today. And this is kind of the fun thing about a bit of nose lift real quick. Look at that, 4 seconds, half the speed of last year's 720S. Too easy. I mean, this is the everyday supercar. They call it that, but it is, and it puts itself down. But we were just talking about how the supercar experience, everyone goes on about like, oh, you know, you need to have a racetrack, you can't even use the power, but that's not the supercar experience. The supercar experience is doing exactly what we're doing right now and just taking it to get a coffee. And everyone's staring at your car. I mean, this Tokyo Cyan paint job is just ridiculous. MSO option on this press car, but it's unnatural, this color. We were saying it's unnatural. It's an assault on the eyeballs, and I kind of love it. Another speed bump here. We're in the back of Darlinghurst. Speed bumps everywhere, but we've got nose lift, so like any other car, and you'd be so nervous about speed bumps, but I mean, there's a speed bump every 5 meters on this road, but in this car with that super, super quick nose lift, no problem. A car like this belongs in Double Bay. I'm so glad we're taking it there. Like, where else really should you take a car like this? Traction. Oh, and it pushes the other one. That's cool. It's like proper F1 style. Like, I press that one, it pushes that one away. Cool. Beautiful day. You couldn't ask for better. Look at this truck. This is the shit that's scary. Like, old mate here. Because you feel like you are literally below his wheel. You're terrified. It's terrifying, quite frankly. And then you don't want to sit on his like behind him because he's going to throw a stone up. The funny thing is, like, you don't want to open the door into like a car.
Yeah.
You see me like nervous about. This is not be pretty, by the way. So.
Not bad.
Barra burgers. South Australia, Richie said his third favourite state. Don't take any offence to that, South Australians. I prefer you over Tassie. Thick barra. Shall I lift it? It's bloody, it's gourmet.
Like a little pickle. Cornichon, actually. Little cornichon. That's what they are.
You know better than I. Who doesn't like pickle?
Oh, mate, there are a few people, no?
There are heaps.
They always take it off the Macca's burger.
Alright, let's probably show you something about this car. Just want to see you get in.
Let's get in this thing. Button here. Here we go. Oh.
You wouldn't want to be old.
Here we go. Smack the aircon on, bud.
True. Aircon blood. Aircon blood. I figured I better tell you guys something about this car. So we're going to take it to our secret spot that overlooks beautiful Sydney Harbour, and I'll give you a quick rundown of what the hell this thing is, because All you've seen us do so far is smash a giant gourmet burger. That was 25 bucks, by the way. Let me know if that's a good price or not. I think it's fair. It's gourmet, or gourmet as some people like to say. Not the people that buy these cars though, they don't say gourmet. But anyway, we're almost there. And no, I'm not telling you where this spot is. You got to figure it out yourself. Spot. What a spot. Alright. So you're sick of watching us eat Barra burgers, so let me tell you about this McLaren 750S. 585,000 Australian dollars before on-road costs, which makes this car like $700,000, and that's without the McLaren MSO Tokyo Cyan paint. I mean, it's an assault on the senses, but it definitely gets even more looks than this car will get on its own. Don't call this a 720S facelift, even though it kind of is. Completely different look on the front end with this lower, obviously, chin splitter down here, and they've colored in some of the headlights too. So somewhere buried in here is a 4-litre twin turbo V8 engine with no hybrid technology. They say that this is a 296 competitor. Well, we say it's a 296 competitor, but what it really is like a throwback supercar. 296, obviously V6 hybrid, a little bit more horsepower actually, but this thing is just pure unadulterated V8 goodness. It sounds sick. It's probably the best sounding McLaren I've ever heard. In terms of the figures though, 4-litre twin turbo V8, 750 PS, which is basically 750 horsepower. Really makes no difference when you're talking this sort of league. 0 to 100, well under 3 seconds. Amazing, top speed, super quick. And if you step away from the actual power figure for a second, what we're actually looking at is like one of the most usable supercars on the road today. I want to bring your attention to this rear end though. There's a lot of 765 LT here, not just in the engine bay, but on the rear end too, with this kind of LT long tail style rear end here. Obviously this thing is just going in your rear view mirror the whole time. Heaps of flappy goodness. Wheels to me, a little bit take it or leave it. It's fairly stylish, but I think it's not particularly exciting for me. Overall though, I do really love the look of the car. I think it's a really good looking thing. It's obviously a supercar, and it does the door thing, which is important. Something that no one talks about with supercars is this. You can just see the wheel when you open the door, which I think is just so cool. The Tokyo Cyan's going all over the interior. This thing's covered in Alcantara, and it's got all that Tokyo Cyan goodness on the seats. And you're sitting inside the car and you're like, what is above my head? It's the door. Like, full carbon monocoque on this one too. You can chuck this thing into track mode and make all the pops and bangs and flames you could possibly want with a touch of a button, and also lock it into manual mode up there too. Down here in front of me on the screen, it's gained a nice quick screen. It is fairly snappy and it does have Apple CarPlay, so that's obviously of benefit to those with supercars, because you need Waze, because you need to know where the popo is. Down here, push button gear selectors. You've got things like launch mode, aero. But the one I love the most is actually within an arm's reach, because it's the #1 thing you use in a supercar. Nose lift, standard's not an option, unlike a lot of cars. And you've also got your boot, bonnet, frunk, whatever you want to call it, release. So they've gone away with the folding display that was on the 720S. When you put it in track mode, it used to fold into the dashboard, which is a pretty cool party trick. They've gone away with that. They've just got a fixed driver's display up here. It's adjustable down here, or it's adjustable down here electronically, and the whole thing moves with the driver. So you can see there's quite a bit of space here because I've had to move the steering wheel quite high up. Everyone says McLarens sound like shit, but not the 750S. Get a load of this.